To English Premier League football now, which is facing a crisis and to hold an emergency meeting. The cash crisis is due to the restrictions on fans, of course, attending games. At the top of the Premier League, perhaps it's not so significant, where there are large amounts of money that comes from football sponsorship. But further down the Premier League and in those non-league clubs, well, there really is a serious crisis that could eventually lead to clubs going out of business. The Liverpool football legend Jamie Carragher told me that COVID could be Armageddon for football.
It almost feels like the city was born for football in some ways. I think it is the biggest thing that this city is probably known for around the world, alongside the Beatles, obviously. But I think the football clubs keep the city going in terms of interest, in terms of finance coming into the city. You know, you've got Liverpool, you've also got Everton as well, and certainly Liverpool on European nights, the people that come from all over to see Liverpool on a European night, they're filling hotels, they're filling restaurants, taxis to and from the ground. So it's a huge thing for the economic situation in Liverpool.
Liverpool had a really good year, Premier League. What was the reason? What was behind it?
It was special. I mean, obviously the situation with COVID-19 was difficult because the supporters couldn't be in the stadium to really embrace it, enjoy it. But certainly there was a lot of enjoyment, a lot of alcohol consumed because there'd been such a long wait. But I think the feeling is one title's not enough for this team. This is a really special team Liverpool have now, a special, iconic manager in Jurgen Klopp, and I think we all believe there's more to come.
On COVID, how serious is the situation affecting clubs now?
You're just fearing Armageddon. You really are. For some of these teams near the bottom, I don't know how they're going to survive. We always feel they'll find a way. This comes up at different times. A certain club is struggling financially. It may go out of business. They never do. There's always someone comes to the rescue. Always someone there, maybe even the supporters of their own club, rally round. This is completely different. This is affecting every club, even the top ones in the country. Not as badly, of course, in the Premier League, but the lower down the leagues you go, certainly with the situation with COVID, no supporters coming into grounds, that's the livelihood. The Premier League doesn't rely on supporters as much now. It's more sponsorship money, TV rights all around the world, so that they can survive. But if teams lower down the pyramid have not got supporters going into their grounds, they can't survive.
Because the money's in the TV rights. Match day receipts only really truly benefits the smaller clubs.
I mean, the only thing you look at now is you look at the clubs lower down. The only thing that this may help in the future is that there's actually wage caps. There's only so much money you can spend, and those type of rules may be coming. They're starting to come in because they won't be able to survive, because a lot of clubs are in danger. The ones who are in more danger are the ones who've been reckless over the last few years financially and spend the money they haven't got because they're all desperate to join the gravy train of the Premier League. And that's what they do. They overspend, they put the clubs at risk because they know if they hit the jackpot and get in the Premier League, everything's OK, and that's a big problem.
Sounds weird talking about somebody retiring at 35. It really does. But you retired and poured yourself back into the city.
I always remember someone quoting a player who was finishing, and he said, leave the football before the football leaves you, basically. And that always stuck in my head. But I think being a local player, you're so entwined with the club, you're emotionally attached to the club more than you would be if you lived outside or I played for another club. So you're always wary and thinking of how the supporters are thinking. And you don't want to certainly leave on a sour note. And I wanted to leave when the supporters were still saying, yes, he's good enough to play for Liverpool, not when the supporters were saying he's not good enough. So, selfishly, I think I could have played for another probably 12, 18 months, maybe 2 years. But I wanted to go at that time and not almost want Liverpool supporters to see a team sheet with my name on and think, oh, no, he's playing. I hope he wasn't playing. And I didn't want that because of the club and my attachment to it emotionally.
Jamie Carragher there, absolutely delightful to meet him and interview him. And if you're wondering why I'm wearing an apron, well, you'll have to watch World of Wonder, Quest World of Wonder. Jamie and I were doing a bit of cooking, but what were we cooking? How were we cooking it? You'll find out next month on World of Wonder.